published 1640 Eastern Standard Time, the 9th of January 2018, updated 1857 Eastern Standard Time, the 9th of January 2018. Sometimes it can only take a split-second, one error of judgment, to bring a night's work to a halt and turn unequivocal success into something a little different. Here at the Etihad, that sporting horror befell Bristol City goalkeeper Frank Fielding. Prior to the 92nd minute of this terrific game, Fielding had been his team's best player. The 29-year-old had kept Manchester City at bay for most of the evening with a mixture of competent and excellent goalkeeping. Sergio Aguero scored an injury-time winner as Manchester City beat Bristol City 2-1 in the first leg of Carabao Cup semi-final. Striker Aguero wheels off to celebrate the decisive goal in front of the jubilant City fans on Tuesday night. Aguero pictured heading home the winner as the Argentine gets to the ball ahead of Bristol City keeper Frank Fielding. Aguero came off the bench in the 70th minute at the Etihad to net the dramatic winner against the plucky Robins. Kevin De Bruyne levelled the scoring at 1-1 just 10 minutes into the second period on Tuesday night in Manchester. De Bruyne, captain on the night, has been involved in a remarkable 20 goals for City this season in all competitions. The 26-year-old City dangerman fires the ball home inside the area on 55 minutes after being picked out by Raheem Sterling, but Pep Guardiola's team will ask you questions right until the final whistle, and when the last one of all was posed, Fielding was found wanting for the very first time. A cross from the right-hand side was a decent one. It was one of those in-swingers that leave goalkeepers and defenders uncertain of who should take responsibility. Here, Fielding stuck his hand up. In fact, he stuck both up and dashed from goal in an attempt to beat Sergio Aguero to the ball. For the get-go he looked a distinct second favourite, and Aguero was able to settle this first leg with a header into an empty goal as Fielding crashed to earth with only regret for company. It was not a terrible error. Had Fielding stayed on his line, Aguero may have still beaten him. He was only 8 or 9 yards from goal and is a very good header of the ball. Fielding would have had a chance, however, and that is what made it a mistake. So Bristol City will wait to host the champions-elect of English football in 2 weeks without a famous result behind them, but still with hope in the bellies. They have an away goal that would count after extra time, and, as such, are still very much in this tie. Sterling runs at the Bristol City defence as the runaway top-flight leaders desperately search for a winner in the first leg. French defender Elliot Mangala falls to the ground awkwardly after looping a header over the Bristol City crossbar. Sterling nearly equalised for City straight after going 1-0 down, but Aidan Flint did brilliantly to clear the ball of the line. Flint left heads the ball off the line from Sterling's shot to ensure the championship outfit went into the break ahead. England international Sterling reacts with shock after Flint heads the ball over the crossbar to deny him from scoring. They have beaten Manchester United already and played courageously and with tactical intelligence here. That will fuel them at Ashton Gate, and one wonders what other teams and managers made of their efforts here. The wisdom is that if you try and stand toe-to-toe with Guardiola's City, you will go home with a bloody nose. Here was evidence that it doesn't always have to be like that. It seems bravery and ambition can still get you a long way. In 2018, Johnson's team did not get the shock result they and the neutrals hoped for after Bobby Reid gave them the lead with a penalty late in the first half. A man with Armani for a middle name, Reid threatened to leave City looking a little undressed. Neither, though, did City respond well enough to embarrass their opponents from the Championship and end the tie. City equalised through Kevin De Bruyne just before the hour, but that was as far as they got until Aguero struck late on. Bristol City certainly earned a second chance. This was no smash-and-grab attempt from the underdog. They came to Manchester to play and compete. They stuck 2 players up front when they could and tried to impose themselves on opponents that some teams in the Premier League are convinced cannot be beaten. Bobby Reid middle celebrates with his Robins teammates after giving his side a shock 1-0 lead from the penalty spot. Reid is mobbed by his teammates after converting the penalty in the 44th minute of the first leg. 24-year-old Reid wheels off to celebrate after opening the scoring in front of the stunned home supporters. The ecstatic travelling supporters celebrate after seeing the side take the lead against the odds-on. Tuesday night, Bristol City's Reed pictured calmly slotting the penalty into the bottom left corner in the 44th minute at the Etihad. Reed won the first half spot kick after defender John Stones clumsily brought him down in the penalty area. Anthony Taylor points to the penalty spot after the English defender brought down Reed in the area late on in the first half. Guardiola was definitely worried for a time. That is why Aguero was sent on with 20 minutes left. That was why Kyle Walker was also asked to play the last part of the game. The fullback is one of City's best attacking outlets. Guardiola feared a draw would not be enough ahead of a second game for which he will once again wish to rest key players. So the tributes to Johnson were there in his opponent's decisions as well as in the words exchanged between the two men at full time. Early in the game, an under-strength City team were superior but not by much. De Bruyne brought two flying saves from fielding while Bernardo Silva miscued twice. But Bristol City were boldened by the time their penalty arrived in the 42nd minute. Home goalkeeper Claudio Bravo had already saved smartly from Marlon Pack, while a shot from Jamie Patterson had struck John Stones in the face. From City's viewpoint, the penalty was a shambles. Eliaki Mangala gave the ball away to Josh Brownhill, and when he passed it on to Reed, Stones felt him with a challenge of such poor timing that he almost broke his opponent in two. Belgium international De Bruyne, who has been in fine form, tries to get to the ball but is crowded out by the opposition. Jamie Patterson pictured firing a shot at goal as City's players tried to close the 26-year-old down at the Etihad. Reid took the penalty with his right foot and scored smartly across Bravo. Bristol City had the lead and the game was afoot. Central defender Aidan Flint cleared a Raheem Sterling lob from the line almost immediately, and the same player was denied smartly by goalkeeper Fielding early in the second half. At times Bristol City did allow the game to become stretched, and they suffered when De Bruyne strode forward to exchange passes with Sterling and drive in the equaliser. With more than half an hour left, it looked a long way home for the visitors, but when Fielding saved brilliantly from Sterling, it looked as though they may sneak on to the M5 with a memorable draw. Fielding had a good night, but not, as it turned out, a perfect one. He and his team deserve another go later this month, and it is unlikely they will die wondering. Patterson attempts to keep the ball in play as the championship outfit looked to take a surprise early lead. The Bristol City players get into a huddle just moments before kick-off on Tuesday night in Manchester.